It's August 19th. JLD here, and welcome to MSTR in the Treasury Titans. Today, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to the FUD and the haters of MSTR on something called X. But we're going to start off by saying nothing in this video is financial advice. Please hit the like button to support this. I really appreciate that. And let's start with Michael Saylor, who wants us to know Bitcoin forever. Not figuratively, but literally, Bitcoin forever. And by the way, if you haven't read the book 300 by Stephen Pressfield, actually, it's called Gates of Fire by Stephen Pressfield. It's an amazing read. Just this meme made me think of that. A book I read a couple years ago. Probably need to go back and read again. Absolutely outstanding. But do you believe that Bitcoin's forever? Because if you do, then all this little noise right now shouldn't bother you. I believe that Bitcoin is forever. Therefore, I believe that MSTR is going to become the most valuable company in the world. These are my thoughts, my belief, period, end of story. I think everybody in the Bitcoin universe is going to win. But I just think that Michael Saylor and Strategy are going to win at such a higher level because they have such a moat, such a treasury. They are the treasury titan amongst treasury titans. Let's move on to another post. This one's from Jeff Walton, aka Punter Jeff. In October, nobody will be talking about this MSTR MNAV guidance revision. As you guys remember yesterday, MSTR revised their guidance on their MNAV so that under 2.5, they will issue common stock ATM opportunistically when they feel like it's right and advantageous for the company, for the stock. Um, Perhaps early as next week, Jeff says that people will forget about this and not be talking about this. Stagnation leads to capitulation. Similar vibes to last summer. Jeff was around last summer. I was around last summer. I remember the FUD. I remember the choppiness. I remember people saying that nothing good was going to happen with MSTR forever. They were dying a slow death. And then, of course, they essentially quadrupled within a couple months, which was an amazing ride to be on. And one that any of you who are listening who has not yet experienced, because I know some of you have been around for a year or much more. But for those of you that haven't, I'm really excited for you to experience that when it happens next. Here's a screenshot from March 27th, 2024 through August 8th, 2024. This was below. Let me scroll down to that. Just look at what this was. It went from 180 down to 110, up to 160, down to 130, up to 180 again, down to 130. And by the way, this is where I bought. I bought right here. My first ever buy was at 135. I believe it was something like right here. It pretty much immediately crashed down to like 125. And I'm like, oh, I should have waited. It's going to keep going down potentially. Because at that point, I wasn't fully aware or wasn't fully onboarded with MSTR yet. But then, of course, we ended up going on this epic run where I think I next bought at 180 because as the chart starts going up in a straight line this way. And then I bought like at 230. Then it went back down to like 190. I bought again. And then it went up to like 300 I bought. And it's just been like this unbelievable volatility roller coaster, but over time, way up and way to the right. But look at this, April all the way through the end of August, or at least the middle of August here. This is just the reality of investing in a volatile asset, especially during the summer months. End of story. I'm going to go back up here to pick it back up where Jeff says, I remember vividly, Saylor killed the stock. Saylor sold 400,000 shares. The stock is never going back to all-time highs. The $2 billion ATM issuance is insane. Too leveraged from converts. Index inclusion will never happen. Strategy had also filed a $2 billion ATM plan on 8/1/2024. On August 18, 2024, MSR was down 37% from its all-time high, closed earlier in March, while Bitcoin share yield was effectively flat. The bears were dunking on MSTR heavily. On August 18th, 2025, MSR is down 23% from its all-time high close in November of 2024, while Bitcoin share and Bitcoin yield is up 50%, and with new widely successful preferred equity instruments to defend MNAV, add on intelligent leverage with zero maturity. Summer 2024 was also chock full of bears, just as there are today. Feels eerily similar, with the exception that Josh Mandel only had about 4,000 followers back then. Saylor sold 400,000 shares, $750 million ATM in February on an $8 billion market cap. MSTR is dead because of Bitcoin ETFs. $2 billion ATM in August 2024. QQQ inclusion will never happen. 1x, MNAV, Ponzi, bears, etc. Again, history may not exactly repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme. This is 1 year later. Insane. This is, or I should say, this is 1 year ago. We are sitting here 1 year later from what people were saying a year ago. If an advantageous optionality revision to MNEF ATM guidance on a first of its kind capital program is the straw that breaks the camel's back here, I can't help you. Jeff can't help you. I can't help you. I can only just keep putting out these videos as often as possible, letting you know that I personally believe in the thesis of Bitcoin. I personally believe in the thesis of Michael Saylor and strategy and Fong Lee. I am on board for the long term. I'll be here in 1 year making fun of this whole time frame right now, and we'll be encountering some different kind of FUD because it'll be the summertime and it'll be a crabby market, and who knows what'll be happening. But I'll be here in a year and I'll be talking about where we're at. And I'm expecting and hoping it's going to be higher. But regardless, time is on my side because I don't necessarily know where we're going to be in 1 month or 1 year, but I do know where we're going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. There's one answer for that in my book, and that is higher. The Bitcoin therapist says people are really actually retarded and think Saylor is blindly leading the sheep to the slaughter when he's in fact holding 20 million shares of MSTR. What the F do you think? He's intentionally attempting to bankrupt himself? Have some GD faith and Giga Chad believe. Well, Bitcoin therapist, I believe. And he also follows up by saying, in case you forgot, Strategy hammered the MSTR common stock ATM from 11th of November to December 16th, my birthday, of last year, and added 186,780 Bitcoin in roughly a 6-week period. During that time, MSTR went from $340 to $408, that's a 20%, and peaked at $473, which is 39% gain. Not to mention they hit $543, which is a 60% overall gain, all while hammering the ATM. I remember these. I remember just watching this happen. Boom, 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 boom. What an amazing stretch this was. It was so awesome to witness just this incredible stacking of Bitcoin. I love that. I want to go to this actual next post by Joe, who says, whether you're Apple, NVIDIA, or MSTR, if you trade at a premium to the underlying Bitcoin on your balance sheet, you should consider strategically issuing stock and buying Bitcoin, an accretive transaction generating an immediate Bitcoin yield, further justifying your premium. And so Joe is just basically tipping his cap, nodding his head to Strategy's revision of now giving themselves the opportunity and the flexibility to hit the ATM when the NAV is under 2.5 if it's advantageous to the underlying asset, the stock. Jeff's a little confused here because he said Goldman Sachs is strategically excluding the 105 billion Bitcoin elephant in the room, MSTR, yet it includes the auto vending machine. It is just so funny how clueless TradFi is, how bewildered TradFi is, and how early we are. And I thought this was a fitting ending to these posts that I found for you today from Adam Livingston. Imagine looking at a company with 628,000 Bitcoin on the balance sheets, fully audited, literally posting the entire treasury strategy on their homepage, filing with the SEC, paying dividends while telling you exactly how they'll do it. And your stupid brain goes, this is a Ponzi scheme. Your mom's boyfriend's weed startup had less transparency. Strategy is the only corporation in history screaming its playbook through a megaphone, and you're still too stupid to read. Adams, per usual, saying it like it is. And we have some great video clips of Michael Saylor. So sit back and enjoy. PayPal just made it official. They're letting US merchants accept Bitcoin. That's not just a news story, it's a sign of where things are going. And it raises a critical question. If the world is shifting toward Bitcoin, are you doing enough to participate? Because here's a powerful way to go further. Convert an old 401k or IRA into a crypto IRA with the help of Bit IRA. Bit IRA will help you convert it free of taxes or penalties. And here's why you'll love them. End-to-end insurance, highly secure storage, multi-encryption, and registered with the US government. And it's fully IRS compliant. Best of all, you can trade crypto within your retirement account without taxes incurred on any buys or sells. If you already put money into an IRA or employer sponsor 401k on a regular basis, why not invest into a Bitcoin IRA each month? Just go to bitira.com/JLD and request a free info guide. Once you do that and open your IRA, you'll get a free ledger. Again, that's bitira.com/JLD to open a tax-sheltered IRA in Bitcoin.
Because once you get Bitcoin and it clicks in your mind, your immediate reaction is, oh, I got to hurry and buy as much as I can because someone else is going to go take all my Bitcoin away from me. So like in 2020, when I started buying Bitcoin, I was thinking, oh no, I got to do this in a hurry because someone's going to figure it out and the price is going to 10x. And I better get it before it 10x's. So, I mean, that's a natural reaction when it finally clicks in your head because you're thinking, why wouldn't every billionaire in the world go and buy $1 billion of Bitcoin, smash buy it overnight, and just to make $1 billion? Because why wouldn't they just want to make the $1 billion or 5 billion or 10 billion or any amount of money? I mean, Bitcoin, it feels like in the early days, the infinite money glitch, right? Laugh, Dave Portnoy complains about buying it at 10 and panic selling it. And then he's like, oh, I bought it at 40. And I hit the wrong button, all these things, and now it's 100,000. And what I've said, and I said this to Tucker Carlson on television, I said, I'm going to be buying the top forever. I mean, here's what I tell you. When Bitcoin's $1 million a coin, I bet you I will probably buy $1 billion of it at $1 million a coin, probably in one day. And when it's 2 million, I will probably be doing it again in one day. And when it's 10 million, I will be doing $1 billion or more in one day, right? And so we're not stopping. I know wealthy people, they own 16 estates on the Eastern Shore, and they live in 2 of them. Like, why do they buy them? They land banking. What does that mean? Well, the guy makes a lot of money every year, and he doesn't want to put it in a savings account. So he goes and he just buys a cool piece of property, and he buys another one. Well, okay, it sounds good, but here's the problem. The guy buys up the beautiful pieces of property, and so you can't afford it.
Right.
And if the rich guy wasn't buying up all the beautiful houses, they would cost half as much. And you could live in a beautiful house. So here's what happens. Some rich dude has 27 houses that are empty. You don't have a beautiful house. You have a family. Your kids, your dog could use the beautiful house. The rich dude doesn't even want the house. He just wants a long-term capital preservation strategy, right? And so that's a perverse incentive and a distorted economy. That's broken. That's broken money. That's because the rich dude is using an estate on the Eastern Shore of Maryland as a piggy bank.
Yep.
Huh? But the estate doesn't get renovated. The house is falling down. There's a beautiful pool on the water, and you could have a great family picnic there every Sunday, but it's not going to happen because the rich dude has 16 other houses. He just bought that house because he thought it was a good investment. Okay, that's wrong. What's the second best? There is no second best.